This week marks the 50th anniversary of this chip, Intel's 4004, the first computer microprocessor. But to understand the importance of that little device, you need a little perspective. At its simplest, a computer only sees two things, zeros and ones. But you don't need electronics for that. Charles Babbage designed his analytical engine in the 1840s, and though he couldn't get it built before he died around 150 years ago, engineers have built it recently, and it works. By the 1940s, computing moved to electronics. ENIAC had 18,000 vacuum tubes, which gulped lots of electricity and produced lots of heat. Next came the transistor, a whole lot smaller. In fact, I decided to bring a bag of 50 with me so you could get an idea. Much tinier than the tube, much less heat, and a whole lot faster. Still, it was orders of magnitude larger than what we've got today.
If we think about the computers that were before, they would be a size that will fill maybe a full room, and will be able to execute some very, very basic instruction. They were built with very old electronic technologies.
The microprocessor changed all that. Instead of wiring together thousands of transistors, they were etched onto a silicon wafer. The 4004 contained 2,300 transistors for data processing, logic, and control. And for the first time, it was all together on one chip. And though it was as small as your fingernail, it was as powerful as ENIAC. We've spent the next 50 years making things smaller.
The smaller the device, the faster transition it can do.
Today's chips hold billions of transistors tied together using connections measured in the tens of nanometers. Some folks think we're approaching the end of the line. There are physical limits to how small transistors can be shrunk.
I don't think we are getting to the limit because the innovation continues.
And so as chips replace the transistor that replaced tubes, we might be approaching another change. The next wave of computing might, like this computer circuitry, use light instead of electrons. Which leads to the question, what's the advantage? And the advantage is photons in a chip can move about 5 times as fast as electrons in a chip. And that means more speed and the chance to make them smaller again.